with the glyph, you see it heals quite high, and it makes your pet fairly hard to kill. In fact, unkillable practically to many classes in a 1v1 situation because of the dispels. It's very frequently dispels your pet, which is important to keeping your pet's uptime on the target. As BM, you want to have maximum pet uptime. Alright, I'll go back and show you my stats. I stat crit, not mastery. Initially I went for mastery, and I just found that kill command suffers too much as being a physical damage ability, that it gets reduced just ridiculously against plate wearers. And yes, it is good against leather and cloth, and even it's fine, I guess, against mail. But for plate, and believe me, in arena, you're going to be fighting lots of plate wearers. That it really suffers. Plus, of course, your damage suffers by having considerably less crit. So the crit build, actually, I learned a lot of these things over time and experience, is that the crit build, not only does it make up for the loss of damage from mastery, but I think it almost, not counting kill command, but for your pet's just base damage, I think it's actually more from the crit. Because of your pet talents having Spider's Bite, so he inherits 100% of your crit plus Spider's Bite. So my pet has, well, I have 24% crit. And if I use my Roar of Courage there, it's almost 26%, plus 9. So 36%, 35. So my pet crits all the time. Now, I think that more than makes up for the loss of pet damage from mastery. But not only does it make up for that damage with your pet, you obviously, as the hunter, are getting a lot more crits and dealing a lot more damage. So I think it's just a superior way to build your hunter. I use 120 spell penetration, just one gem, and then the cloak enchant. And I haven't checked too extensively, but I have done tests, and I don't see any spell resists. I don't have any problems with that. Mages with mage armor and Mark of the Wild or anything, I have no problems. I drop mages like a rock, to be honest. I'm sure all hunters do. So I think 120 spell pen is fine. And if you really wanted to be safe, you could go up to like 150, 170 max. But 120 I think is just perfect. Now I gem all agility except in that helmet, crit and result there. But everything else is pure agility. As a hunter, to me, you want to do that, just max agility. We don't have interrupts on healers much, so if you ever want to kill a healer, we need max DPS. And hunters are just designed to avoid damage, not to mitigate, but to simply avoid damage. So I think we can get away with not gemming it all for resilience or stam or anything else. Plus agility gives us crit. Now the beast mastery, 25% attack power. Now that's just a huge bonus. The more agility you have, the more attack power you have. The more attack power you stack, aspect of the hawk. It's just ridiculous. I've got 15.4k without my little pet.
That ability isn't
almost
ready
17k
yet.
self-buffed, which I think is probably pretty darn high. And of course with my cooldowns blown, it's just ridiculous. 23.2k attack power there. Now with that cooldown blown, I can get 20k plus arcane shots, and I can spam arcane shots like 10, 11 times in a row, 12 times in a row even, in the optimal setting. Now I'm probably blathering on too much, and I hope that's alright. It's for a purpose. and I'm just gonna jump back and forth. That's the way I am. If this is just too unorganized, I'm gonna go back and watch it, and we'll see. Maybe I'll just re-record it and have a more organized kind of segments on what I talk about. So that's glyphs. Alright, so another thing about crit that's beneficial is the fact that you have invigoration. So your pet scores a critical hit with the basic attack, so that's claw, smack, and bite. Then you get 6 focus. So by stacking crit, your pet crits more with the basic attack, which gives you more consistent invigoration procs. And I can tell you from my experience, I get that proc all the time, and I have awesome focus regeneration because of it. So that's just one more synergy reason why crit, I think, is the best for BM spec. For pets, I mainly use my spirit beasts, especially when soloing, and sometimes in arena I will use the shell spider for the ranged stun, which is awesome for interrupting healers or for catching someone who's trying to run away. It's a 30-yard range, pretty low cooldown. It's just an awesome ability. It does share diminishing returns with intimidation, so typically I use intimidation on like a kill target, but I'll use web wrap on a healer or on, you know, to interrupt a poly or a fear or something like that. But I really have a sweet spot in my heart for my spirit beasts. The heal is pretty good. It's like a 20k, 18 to 20k kind of heal with no crits. So if you get crits, then it can heal up to like 30k, which is pretty awesome. Let's see here. What to go over next? Is that about it? Alright, well I'll try to talk a little bit about some of the great strengths I find with BM spec. One of the biggest things it has is that Bestial Wrath is a full trinket, exactly identical as a PvP trinket or every man for himself racial. It functions exactly the same way when you click it.
I can't use that
It's
item
all
yet.
CC on you, including disarms and everything. As well as it makes your pet immune to them for the whole duration. So BM has 2 trinkets. Okay, people don't give much credit to that, but that's pretty amazing. And I use Bestial Wrath to break stuff. You know, in a duel or 1v1 or arena or whatever it is, you don't just go in at 100% health with your target at 100% and pop Bestial Wrath. You wait till you get CC'd or stunned or something, because you're going to. A good team is going to try to, you know, stop that hunter from doing huge DPS, which is what we're going to do. So you get to Bestial Wrath and use that free trinket and then save your actual trinket for something else, you know? So that's really great. Deterrence. We don't have a double deterrence, but Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera does give us deterrence more frequently than MM, aside from readiness. So it's really not that bad. If you're fighting casters in arena, then you'll actually find deterrence is up pretty often. Maybe like every 40, 45 seconds. You know, that's just a rough number off the top of my head. But if you're getting magic cast on you pretty frequently, pretty steadily, then you're gonna have a lot of deterrence up, and it's pretty amazing actually. Yeah, I'm a Worgen hunter, and the racials are pretty good. Dark Flight is great, and 1% extra crit from being Worgen. So a couple other things is I'll show you my macros. Now, arcane shot. I got some cancel auras in a few different abilities. Cancel aura deterrence and hand of protection, so that you don't have any of those abilities to prevent you from attacking. Let's say, you know, sometimes you just need to cancel it in a close situation where you and your target are both almost dead. You pop up deterrence to stop, you know, frostbolt, and then you want to cancel it to get a kill shot off or something, or maybe to get a quick scatter shot trap. If it's a critical moment, you have to be able to cancel those abilities, so it needs to be on something. And then I use the macro pet attack to put my pet on my target. Now, I have that macroed into several abilities, and it's amazingly convenient, and for most of the time it's great and no problem. But I will admit there is a couple of inconveniences, a couple of downsides to that, which is basically the biggest thing is, well, this might sound silly, but when you're dueling or fighting against a death knight and the pet is going to be on them and you won't be able to call it back since it's in your arcane shot or whatever attacks, and then the death knight will be death striking your pet to stay alive. So that does suck, and I can still kill death knights though, even with them death striking my pet. Unless it's a blood DK, then him death striking the pet just means he's gonna live forever and you won't kill him. But he won't kill you either because you'll be able to kite and just escape. And I'm okay with that. Blood DKs are just, you know, pretty hard to kill anyway. And you don't really see those too much in arena, I think.